CPA and financial analyst. Let's call him a guru. Dan Geltrude is with us. Dan also is a university professor who teaches a course on forensic accounting and fraud. So you are the perfect guest on this. It's a tough topic. How do people protect themselves?
Well, you know, if we step back for a second here, Charles, and what I teach in my class at Montclair State University related to how fraud happens, it's based upon trust. And that's what makes it so difficult in many situations to be able to stop it. Because we're not just talking about the scammer who calls a senior on the phone. We're talking about someone in a position of trust. Could be a family friend, could be a caretaker, could be a child. And then, of course, we have those licensed professionals, whether it's financial planners, insurance agents, lawyers, and accountants that also take advantage of their clients.
So then how does someone protect themselves? I'm looking, I got all the headlines here, right? Elder financial abuse, multi-billion-dollar problem. Elderly are getting scammed by their own family members. It's worse than robocalls. And trusted, to your point, trusted professionals target the assets of America's elderly. How does someone protect themselves?
Well, there's a number of ways here, Charles. To begin with, we have to educate our seniors. So, you know, your parents, your grandparents, and so on, you have to sit down and you have to make them understand the potential dangers that are out there. Now, FINRA has done a couple things to try to protect seniors. First, they have added a trusted contact into the file. So if there's some type of activity that doesn't look right, they can call someone else, a family member and so on, to say, hey, this doesn't look right. In addition, they've also allowed for brokerages to be able to put a stop on suspicious transactions for a period of like 15 days in order to have time to investigate these things, Charles. So it's like when you have a charge on your credit card, all of a sudden it doesn't go through. We have found that some of these financial institutions, by the way, have been complicit in allowing transactions that just don't seem right to go through. So we need more activity coming from the other side when things just don't look right.
Do you think that FINRA and others maybe even should market like, hey, these things exist? Because if you just don't know better, I was reading about some very wealthy person who his account was churned for $6 million. And, you know, the firm said they didn't know, to your point, but, you know, this was a relatively sophisticated person.
Charles, it literally can happen to anyone, and the reason I say that, it goes back to the fraudsters are people who are in a position of trust, and that's how they're able to pull these things off. But there's no question in my mind that the financial institutions have to get out there and educate their clients. They have to keep a tighter rein on what their agents and representatives are doing, and we need to tighten things up. Look, you're talking about potentially, I saw one report, over $30 billion a year is being scammed from our seniors. It's just not right.
Dan, thank you so much for sharing your expertise. It's good to see you, my friend.
Thank you, Charles.